Hello, YouTube, and welcome to a special edition of the FPL PubCast. Because first of all, we're on a Monday night for the I think it's the second midweek deadline of the season. Certainly this year, deadline obviously being tomorrow, so we're on a Monday instead of our normal Wednesday. And because we're joined by two very special guests, so welcome. What we're going to be doing in this one is what we usually do. We're going to have a look at what we got on in game week 25. We're going to have a talk about game week 26, specifically the triple possibility of the triple captain in the double game week, and also have a look, preview the game week, and have a discussion about what we're going to do in game week 26 on our planned transfers. So joining me first of all is a very, very good FPL player who I believe finished 1.9k the season before last and 511th last year, and now is creating content on her own YouTube channel, Mrs. FPL Raptor, FPL Pickle. How are you doing, Pickle? Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, I'm good, thank you. It's nice to be here. I'm not used to doing live streams. This is a new one for me. I'm excited.
Is this your first one? I know you were on FPL Therapy, weren't you, with Ross? But is this your first one outside of...
Yeah, I think so. I believe it is, yeah.
Okay, we'll have to be nice to you then, so we don't put you off like going on afterwards. And also joining me, so I've got a special introduction that's been written for me by my good friend FPL Nightmare. In a week where so many are planning on playing their triple captain, we have the man with arguably the greatest triple captain of all time, the man that will stop at nothing in his quest for success, from measuring hotel signs to contingency planning in the case of royals passing away. He doesn't just report the weather, he harnesses the storm and washes his rivals away. He is the lord of long-term planning. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Andy Martin.
Wow, what an introduction. Cheers, Andrew. I mean, I love the guy. I mean, that's some intro, isn't it?
Yeah, I said to him the other day, I want to go on this channel just so I can get my own intro.
Yeah, a king of intros.
Thanks so much for joining us. How are you, mate?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm well. I had a day off today, so nice to chat FPL, and I love a midweek deadline, so it's good to get my juices flowing again and another deadline. So yeah, looking forward to chatting.
Especially if you've had a bad game week like I did, it's good to be able to get it washed off straight away, isn't it?
Yeah, go again.
And then joining me for my co-host, one of my usual co-hosts. You may not get this, Pickle and Andy, but this is our joke. We call him the PubCast Ghost.
A month usually. Just
Roberto. So, mate, how you doing?
Yeah, all good. Good to be back on, and yeah, really looking forward to this one. Two brilliant members of the FPL community as our guests, and wonderful people as well. So it's a really, really exciting one, and looking forward to diving into game week 26, which is it's going to be a very talked about game week, I think, across the season.
Yeah, could be a lot of variance this week, isn't there? Just as there was last game week. So before I start, I'll say hello to people in the chat. Hello, Kanji. Kanji was desperate to come on tonight, but unfortunately couldn't because he's got a class. He's saying he's listening in class. Concentrate on your university work, Kanji. Hi to Hippie, Major, Kiring, I sorry, mate, I don't know, say your name. Andrew, hello, mate. Clapton, John, Spotter, FPL Claire, hello. Urkan, Shane, how you doing, mate? Alex Sweet, Geddy, FPL Trash Panda, Toby, Geddy. Some little name as FPL Raptors in here showing his support. Oh my god, it's typical. Brian, Jojo, hello everyone. So let's get into it. So yeah, please do like the stream to help get it out there, and please subscribe if you're new around here. So yeah, we go through in terms of who did the worst to who did the best on this stream. And unfortunately, I think for the second episode in a row, I did the worst out of everyone appearing, which isn't great. So I got 61 points, which was a pretty big red arrow of about 40k to 156k. So I got the Bravka 1, Gabriel 6, Timber 6, Hall 0, Anderson 1, Bruno Fernandes captain, which is one of the only good things, with 20. Elliot Anderson with 2, Enzo with 2, Rice 5, Thiago 5, Haaland 11. And then probably the most frustrating thing is my bench. I mean, if anyone had ever said to me, bench boost this, because I have Szoboszlai with 8, which could have been even more, couldn't it? It could have been like 13, 14, and Lacroix with 11. So yeah, I was pretty. I think what was my transfer in again? I think
you did yourself disservice as well, Go. You said Anderson 2, but it's Anderson 4.
Oh, Anderson 4. Yeah, he did.
He loves that DEFCON. He loves that DEFCON.
He does. Yeah, I can't even remember what my transfer was. Oh yeah, I bought Declan Rice, and that was a frustrating thing because I sold someone. My brain is gone already. I sold. Can you remember I sold Roberto? I sold someone, and I was either going to bring in Rice or Palmer, depending on who got the double game week. And obviously, Rice got the double game week, so I bought him in rather than Palmer. Which I know it's like an excuse to say, I didn't bring him in for this reason, but I didn't. And then, when Palmer then was scoring the penalties, which Enzo otherwise would have been taking, I think he stole the penalties off of him. It just wasn't a good game week. It wasn't a good game week. I kind of want to move on for this one as quickly as possible. But Roberto, what do you reckon, mate? Was I unlucky there?
I think you were. I mean, you sold Saka, which was logical with his injury he picked up. And of course, I also brought in Declan Rice this week. And, I think he is the sort of pick where on paper, he just looks really exciting, roots to points. But unfortunately, it didn't quite have the explosive impact this week. But I think long term, that's still a good transfer. It's just a shame that, it didn't quite work out. The thing with that is, I think across the season, Saka's just not been worth the money at all. A lot of the premiums this season have really failed to deliver outside of Haaland, maybe, and it's just been that sort of season where you had to spread your money across a little bit more than usual. So, I think it's a good transfer, and this team, I think it's kind of a case of a lot of the defenders this season have struggled, apart from the Arsenal defence. Again, with Anderson, that Fulham defence has been frustrating for a lot of people. So I think there's some good picks in here. It's just unfortunate this week when it comes to some of the defence there. It's Dubravka, Kelleher. It's that sort of goalkeeper rotation where it's picking the right one from week to week is the tricky thing.
I keep starting the wrong one. Bench Kelleher for his 10 the other week. Pickle, are you a fan of? We have a bit of a laugh on this show about Wacky Anderson. One of our co-hosts doesn't particularly like him, FPLD unit. I noticed he's in your team. Are you a fan?
Not so much this season, I'll be honest with you. I think for now I'm just going to keep him because I don't really have a reason to get rid, but I've not been overly impressed. I miss the days when he was at Palace. I miss those. Very good in FPL then. I've not been too impressed with him, to be honest. Not too keen.
He used to get a lot of goals at Palace as well, didn't he? When they won season, he got like 5 in the opening to the season. I'm gonna come to you, Andy, with the opposite. Another bit of a meme on this show is Szoboszlai. What do you think of him? Do you reckon people should be holding on to him, or?
I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, I think there's a lot of good midfielder spots, and personally, I think Szoboszlai doesn't get enough like shots away or getting chances to get assists. I know he's on set pieces. I know he gets goals. But to me, I prefer there's midfielders in the game where they're so much closer to goal, and I want those players that are going to be in the box, taking shots, getting assists from open play more than the off chance of set pieces. And he's done okay, but I just, as a midfielder spot, I think there's better options. But I can understand the appeal of like minutes. He's on set pieces, sure, but I just think there's more explosive assets, and you can get, for me, within midfield spots at the moment, I think you can get good assets against good teams, and you don't need to hold Szoboszlai or Elliot Anderson for long periods because I don't think they're explosive enough.
I'm thinking about selling this. If I could get straight to Palmer, I probably would, but I don't think I can, unfortunately. Should we move on to Roberto's team? So Roberto got 68 points minus 4, which I'm assuming is that a small red Roberto?
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, another red arrow.
Another one, 668k. So Roberto's got Pickford with 2. You did have Lacroix in, which is great, for 11. O'Brien 3, Timber 6, Wilson 2, Sarr 8. That's a nice move. Enzo 2, Rice 10, Gal Pedro 8, Thiago 5, Holland 11. Oh, and you captained Rice. Interesting, because you don't have Fernandes. Wow, yeah, talk us through it, mate. I mean, it's quite an interesting team here.
Yeah, I went against the grain. I mean, I did think about Bruno, but it wasn't a move that I could easily do because I only had one free transfer and very little in the bank. So I had a couple of sort of midfield problems going into the game week with Foden, who I wasn't really feeling, and Gordon, who had sort of picked up a knock. And the thing with those two was I just didn't really want to carry either of them going forward. And if I got Bruno in, it would probably have to be in a -8, and I didn't feel that was really worth it. So I wanted to load up on Arsenal because I only had Timber ahead of the double game week. I wanted to sort of get to those 3. So I went for Rice and I also went for Sarr. So I was happy with the Sarr move. Watching that Brighton game, he's so involved in every Palace game, Sarr, and as a Watford fan, former Watford player, it's always a joy to watch him because he feels like he's always involved and he's always kind of getting himself in and amongst it. And the thing with Palace as well is they don't have to play well to kind of have chances. They often just really sort of lively when it comes to getting shots away and getting involved. And the other thing I did was Rice, which, to be honest, I look back at it now, I do think I was very tempted by a cheaper mid to just go alongside Sarr. And I did see a lot of murmurings about Dango this week. And in the end, I just went for the boring Rice option. And yeah, with hindsight, it looked nice with Dango. But I think I would have made that decision again. If the game week deadline was this weekend prior to the knowledge about how the game weekend unfolded. So I think all in all, not too unhappy with the score of 68. It's just, I think this season it's been very high standard of scoring. Most seasons I'd be pretty happy with that for a points total, but ultimately it's a red arrow and it's 3 red arrows on the spin for me now. I'm kind of falling a little bit like a stone at this point. It's just trying to stop that sort of run of reds because stop the rot, exactly, because I've been floating around the sort of 400 300k for a while, and the last few weeks just been dropping down. So it's a tricky one because whenever I go for someone on captaincy that's not Haaland, I struggle to stick the landing because it's just hard to find someone that is going to get you that double-digit haul. But I don't hate the team. It's just that I was happy with Lacroix, who I actually did start Robinson in that Fulham game, and he didn't play, which I was kind of shocked by. But Lacroix is there to sort of sweep up there. So all in all, not the end of the world, but yeah, it's just a bit frustrating that a couple of the players there that I'd hoped to go big have just been a slightly underwhelming.
Andy, look, this is quite. We always we do a Saturday night stream where we always look at Roberto's team. It's like a reaction stream. We're always amazed by his team. Have you seen a team without Fernandes and Gabriel in it in a content creator? It's quite different, Roberto's team. Are any thoughts?
Yeah, it's different. I mean, I don't mind being different. I think there's some good picks in there, certainly. There's a couple I don't particularly like. Like Harry Wilson, I think's good to hold now because his fixtures are going to be good in a couple of weeks. But perhaps it wasn't a hold during these last few weeks when his fixtures were a bit more difficult. It's an awkward one because he's been doing well. He's been getting points. Sarr pick. I mean, I went for Sarr this week. I think it's great. But the team's fine, but it's different, and that's okay. It can work out well, but depends what you're trying to do with different picks, really.
Any thoughts, Pickle? Have you got any desire to bring in any Crystal Palace players? Got 2 here in.
Well, I'm thinking about a specific player, but I don't know whether it's because I've just lost my marbles or it's actually a good idea. So So I would have thought about Saar, but I can't afford him. But I've thought about getting Strand Larsen, which is very interesting.
That's got my seal of approval.
It's got mine pickle as well. I looked at it today, 6.1.
Yeah, the thing is, it would be for Ekatike. I guess we'll talk more about this later. So it could be genius or it could be an absolute disaster. So I'm thinking about it, but I'm very, very tempted.
Do we know 100% who's on penalty, Saar or
no?
No,
I'm not sure. They could even share. To be honest, we have no idea. So
yeah,
but target Burnley, Operation Target Burnley. That's what
yes, that's so good.
Exactly
That's
right. Always.
So yeah.
So, let's move on to your team, Pickle. So you got 72 points, a -4, and bench boost played. I have to say, it's not the most successful bench boost. So you've got Rayo 7, Gabriel 6, Caliber 4, Hall 0, Rice 5, Enzo 2, Captain Fernandez 20, Wilson 2, Haaland 11, Ekatike 2, Thiago 5, and then on your bench you've got Dubravka with 1, the guy whose name I always pronounce wrong, Indai 2, Joachim Anderson 1, and Rodon 4. Talk us through it, Pickle, and then we might have to pick apart this bench boost a bit, I think.
This is why I hate the bench boost. Like, Gary, you saw your bench. It got 20 points, and you would never have thought to have activated it.
Yeah.
I think, basically, my moves were Saka to Rice, which was, I guess, the bog standard move. I could have afforded Palmer, but to be honest with you, I was never going to pick him because I was too concerned about his fitness, and I still am, even though he did really well. So I did that, and then I did Guiu to Thiago for a -4. I thought, in terms of the -4, that did work out. It was a 6-point gain. But I looked at my bench and it was, Dubravka against West Ham at home and Jai against Fulham away, Anderson against Everton at home and Rodon against Forest at home. And I thought it looked pretty good. And I hate the chip. So I just thought, you know what, I'll just get rid of it. And maybe that was it did turn out very well, as you can see. It was a shame with Rodon because the clean sheet, it was close. But to think that Rodon was the highest scoring player in that bench, it was not something that I was expecting. NGI especially has been very disappointing. Probably one of the worst transfers I've made this season. Yeah, I'm a bit gutted by it, but it is what it is. And at least I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's like my least favourite trip in the world.
A few people said to me, you're going to have to go in and Pickle a bit here. I know it's her debut, but then I looked at the fixtures. They weren't that bad. I mean, they weren't that bad. What do you think, Pickle? Nightmare said to me, I'm going to quote him here, you played 2 players against each other, as in Indai against, who was it? Anderson. Does that come into your thinking at all? I mean, I don't take that into account in my thinking.
I mean, obviously I did think about it, but there's never a perfect bench boost, in my opinion. I think you're always going to have clashes. And I just thought, I'd hope for maybe an NGI penalty and Anderson gets DEFCON sort of thing. But Anderson got 9 DEFCON in the end, so missed out on 2 points there. And no penalties or even I don't even know if NGI had any shots, to be honest with you. He's not been very good lately. So, yeah, I don't know. It definitely wasn't the most amazing bench boost in the world, but I looked at it and thought, that's solid. And I was like, this is a decent chance to get ahead because, like you, Robert, I've been kind of stuck in the same place for ages and I just want to do something that helps me shoot up the ranks a little bit, but I've just been struggling at the moment to do that. And I don't know whether it's just because the last 2 seasons have been so comfortable for me. Like the last 2 seasons, I was comfortably top 10k at this stage and I just sort of teeter along. So to be at this sort of rank now, because of what I'm used to, it doesn't feel comfortable. So I don't know whether I'm just trying to compensate and it's not going in my favour, but possibly, I don't know. But yeah, it wasn't the best week.
Are you struggling with that low rank? Because I know some people but they, casing down as opposed to protecting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I guess you're maybe not enjoying that.
No, I don't know. Maybe this is why these sort of transfers like the Strand Larsen thing are coming into my head because I'm desperate to get ahead, but sometimes slow and steady wins the race. So I need to try and just stay calm, but it doesn't feel great, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's easier said than done, though, isn't it? Because when you're like that, Pickle, and I've definitely felt that this season, that you sort of feel like you're starting to slip away a little bit. So then you think, try something different to sort of gain that edge. And yeah, I mean, my team, as you saw, was a bit different to just try and get around the sort of similar teams around my rank. And yeah, sometimes a different strategy, like the bench boost that this week could have been a great little early call, but unfortunately, it's the way it's going at the moment. Sometimes it's just fortune doesn't always favour the brave, unfortunately.
Yeah,
You a
it's just one
fan
of
of-
those seasons.
You a fan of the bench boost, Andy? Have you got any particular time? Are you saving up for a double potentially?
No, I mean, I believe in a non-detrimental bench boost where you just play it where your bench looks good and it doesn't impact your squad going forward. Because I think a lot of time people plan for bench boost and use wild cards or take hits to try and get that mega screenshot, and it's not a weekly game. It's a 38-week game. So where you've got that mega screenshot in the bench boost week, how many points have you lost previously or afterwards because of wild cards or hits? I mean, I would say about Pickle's one, I don't mind the bench boost. I think it's a good time to bench boost for those players. I didn't realise it was grey out to Thiago for a hit. So I think that's forced it. Like, that's forced the bench boost. And that's something I wouldn't have done.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but my thought was, and I know it wasn't the best time to buy Thiago, but I just thought I'm going to want him in the future, and I thought Newcastle away was an okay fixture, so I was just like, I'll just get him now, and so I guess in that sense it was a little bit forced, but yeah, I don't know, not the best move from me, I'll admit. I'll take it on the chin.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I think you look at those players and you think, right, just activate it because it's a good time to do it. So I don't think it's a bad decision. It's a bad outcome, but being like forcing it with Gahey selling it, I don't get on board with that. I think.
Yeah. Shall we move on to your team, Andy? So you are top of the pile this week. You're on 75 points, which I'm assuming is green now to 271k. You've got Kello with 1, Timber 6, Gabriel 6, Joaquim Anderson 1, Fernandez captain 20. The other Fernandez, what's his first name?
Mateus.
So I know you've had a lot of love this week, recently with 8, Enzo 2, Rogers 10, Star 8, Haaland 11, Ekatike 2. I'm guessing the only frustration for you is that 12 points sitting on the bench there with Dalla.
Yeah, it's massive frustration. I mean, and normally I'd like bench points to bench points, but it's the fact that I spent all day Friday thinking about Dallo, and like I was tweeting it all day Friday. I was sat at work, it's quite quiet at work, just stewing in my own mind, going over it, because my decision was whether to do Foden to Sarr or just to leave Foden on the bench and play Dallo. That was my decision. So I ended up with Sarr, which is fine, which is good. I'm pleased he's in my team, done well. Looking back, I'm thinking like Dallo v Anderson, was that the decision? Did I get it wrong? But then I think I still probably back Spurs to score more than Everton, I think. But then you look at Dallo's attacking potential. So it's a frustration thinking, did I get it wrong? I'm glad I did Foden to Sarr, but yeah, 12 points is always frustrating, especially like Saturday lunchtime. It's like early on, you'd like, 12 points is massive to when it could have easily been on my team, and that would have been a mega week. But overall, I'm really pleased. Like I've done well the last 5-6 weeks, and I feel like I'm in a stage now where my team's great, and I like the way I'm playing, so it's good.
The other Fernandez, I forgot what you said his name was, beginning with M.
Yeah, Mateus.
Mateus, yeah, what is this with your love? Because I see you post a lot about him. I've never seen him in any. I don't think I've seen it in anyone else's FPL team.
No, I think he's like 0.1% owned. I watched him against Spurs 4 weeks ago. Was really impressed. And with the fixtures coming up, they have Sunderland and Burnley. So Sunderland at home, where Sunderland sit back, and I thought Fernandez could be that like attacking 8 and do what he did of like take shots because of how good he is, and scored from a long shot and then hit the bar from a long shot against Sunderland and was doing well. And I thought he might get DEFCON in that game. He just missed DEFCON in that game as well. So he got 8 points against Sunderland. And then he knew I could bench him last week and then play him for Burnley who I just play against Burnley all the time. And yeah, 8 points. Got the nice assist to Somerville, and the DEFCON, so it's all good.
Pickle, are you a fan of Rodgers? Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say about Mateus, I've actually clocked him in the past. I've never mentioned him, but I've watched him in the past and thought he was really good. So I thought that was quite a nice punt, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, it's worked out well. I mean, people are like laughing, but they can laugh. I got him for Sunderland and Burnley, and he's got 8 points in both, so it's happy days. Yeah.
Fair play. What were you asking, Gary? Sorry, was it?
I was just going to ask if, because he's the one player I've not owned this season who really seems to hurt my rank every single week, and yet I've still not looked at him.
Yeah, you know what? I want to buy him soon because, like you, he keeps hurting my rank, and he's one of those where I don't know. It's just if you see Villa score, you're worrying that it's going to be him. He's just one of those players, I think. So I don't know. Like he doesn't exactly get loads of shots or anything like that, and we've been quite frustrating lately, Villa, to be honest with you, especially with the results we've been getting. But I think with the fixtures coming up, I would like Rodgers, and that's part of why I need to downgrade someone somewhere so I can get him in, because at the moment I can't really afford him, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, I would like him soon because I don't like not owning him.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Andy's team before we go on, Roberto, to the talking points?
I have to say, I really like that midfield. I think that midfield is stacked with players that I really like watching. I think Enzo, really unlucky with the Wolves game because he's taken a lot of penalties recently, and as
stealing his penalties.
As Pickle said earlier, I still don't feel that confident in Palmer, as mad as it sounds after the hat trick, because his sort of demeanor, his sort of fitness this season has just been really sort of irregular and hard to track. And Enzo is that safety blanket of he's gonna get more minutes in the game. Yes, sometimes his position can change, but even when Palmer plays, Enzo can sometimes still rock up in that 10. So I really like him as a sort of safety net. And I also think Manchester United Fernandes, I don't have him, but I kind of wish I could afford him in an easier way, because the thing with him is he's always even to the last minute of games, he finds a way to get a return, even if it's not huge all the time. He just gets on the end of crosses or little assists in the dying embers of matches. He's so influential. So again, Man United.
Exactly. At the end,
he could have got more. Like Man United have been clicking so well recently, but even when they haven't been, he's just always there. And so I really like the team, Andy. I think you've done really well with it. It's just be interesting to see whether or not you go on triple Arsenal ahead of the double game week, because I wouldn't want to remove any of those midfielders personally.
Yeah.
I mean, it might come to it later. And my original plan was Mateus Fernandes to Rice, and I had the exact money. But I'm kind of thinking a different way now. I don't know why. Like, I know it's just a plan for Mateus Fernandes to have him for Sunderland and Burnley, and then move to whoever doubled in like 26, like ahead of the game week. And I think it's still an option, but I might go a different way because I think I need the money and funds in 28. So it might be a Tarkowski to Saliba, which isn't much of a difference in price, so they can save the money and then kind of do a switch from Sarr to someone else as well in 28, like Sarr to Wirtz in 28. Yeah,
be huge if they get a triple, double clean sheet, wouldn't it? So let's move on to the talking points. So I've titled this stream "Triple Captain Active" because mine is. I don't know about you guys. So the first thing I'm going to ask each of you is: A, are you planning to use the triple captain? And B, or do you think we should use a triple captain? And if so, on who? So I'll give you my logic. Kanji and me were discussing this in our group chat last night, and he was saying to me that there is a possibility, he reckons it's a 50% possibility, that Haaland may get a double game week in, is it 36, I think? In which case the models would predict he gets about 14 points, whereas the models predict for this week Gabriel gets about 10. So my logic is, if there's a 50-50 chance that he might get 14 points, that's 7 points. If I think about it logically, I don't know whether he's going to get that double game week. So I want to use it now and book those 10 points in, if that makes sense. Because I'm planning to use my bench boost in the other double. Pickle, I'll come to you first. Have you thought about it? And if so, who would it be on?
So it is currently active on Gabrielle, but I'm not set yet. I'm still not 100% sure. It's definitely a very, very tempting double game week to go for him. But I must admit, triple captain in a defender is very new to me. But because of how threatening Gabrielle can be, and obviously there's DEFCON now and the chance for clean sheets, of course, it's a very tempting double game week to go for. And I get what you were saying about Haaland in the future, because we don't know how it's going to pan out at the end of the season. It might be comfortable for Arsenal, Man City, or whoever, but it might not be. And it might be that they are still fighting and that Haaland will play both games and whatnot. So I don't know. I think I will activate it, and it probably will be on Gabrielle, but I'm not set. I'd say I'm like 75% on it, 25% not on it at the moment.
Okay, I've just done a quick poll to ask the chat if they're using it or not. How about yourself, Roberto, mate?
Well, personally, much like Pickle, I'm a bit tentative on captaining defenders. I've had PTSD in the past from doing it previously. I remember Ruben Diaz in a double game week and Man City conceding in both games. And it's so deflating when, especially like when you have the last game of the game week and you've only got defenders playing and they concede. But especially, in a double game week, I don't know. It's a big ask. If it was anyone that wasn't Gabrielle, then I would sort of say absolutely shut down no. But because Gabrielle's got that goal for it, it's a lot more tempting. So yeah, it could well be worth it. It's just not knowing what's ahead of you in terms of other triple captain opportunities is the difficulty. But yeah, I mean, Haaland in 36 is very, very possible. I mean, there is a double game week in 33 as well. It's just we don't quite know the teams yet, and it makes it hard to sort of plan because outside of the premium teams, it's quite risky to go for a triple captain on a lower asset. So at least what we know with Arsenal is, however sort of many goals they score, one thing will be certain is their defense is still the best in the league by a mile. And even if they start conceding goals, they're still going to be better than everyone else. So from a defensive point of view, I can just see the certainty there. But I think maybe my sort of attacking minded thought process around FPL when it comes to playing the chips just doesn't want to go for the defensive play. And so I'm sort of subconsciously veering away from Gabrielle. But I mean, I might well bring him in as a transfer because I don't have him, but whether or not I'll triple captain or not, I'm undecided yet. Probably not. It's probably like 51-49 to not do it at the moment, but I mean, okay. It's close. It's very close at the moment.
Andy, yourself?
Yeah, so I've got two points on this. The first one is I'm just going to captain Gabriel because I love a week where people triple captain and you just got him captain. It feels like a lovely week. Like it doesn't matter if he blanks, and you're fine if he hauls because you captained him anyway. So I'm always I'm in that boat where it's like, it's rest easy because I've got Gabriel captain. If Arsenal concede, it's all right. I haven't triple captained Gabriel. Oh, he's hauled. Okay, I've captained him. I always feel that in a big triple captain week. But secondly, I do think we get the double. I think we get at least another double apart from 33 somewhere, because the amount of fixtures that teams have got in Europe and the cup fixtures look pretty nice at the moment. I know it could change, but I just feel we will get another double. And if we don't get another double, the Arsenal game in 37 is against Burnley at home. And if they win the title, that'll be trophy lift day. And anytime someone lifts a trophy at home, on like the final day of the season, like Liverpool last season when they beat Spurs 5-1, like Chelsea when they win like 8-1 against Wigan, it's like a look at what we can do kind of fixture. And I think if we get to 37 and we've not had the double game weeks and I'm left with the chip, I'll happy triple captain Saka on trophy lift day against Burnley, who are already relegated at home. like if we get to that. But I think we'll get another double game week, and I think there'll be better options. So I'm just going to sit easy on captaincy on Gabriel and it's just quite a nice week, and just watch others stew, which is also quite a nice thing to see.
Yeah, and if I stick with you, because I mean, I was thinking about the first thing I was thinking, what do you? I reckon his effective ownership would probably be 250, maybe.
I don't think that high. I think it'll just be over 200, just about. I don't think. I think there's a lot of I think a lot of people might risk something else or still be on Haaland or something. I can't see it being like Salah levels with triple captain week. I think it'll be around 200%, and I think even captaincy, I think it will slightly go over 200, where it'd be like, okay, captaincy isn't enough. But I don't think it'd be damaging, like hugely damaging. It might be like, I think I'll go for like 205, 210%, really.
So I was thinking before I started this stream that surely there can't be anyone without 3 Arsenal at this stage, but you and Roberto both don't have any. So I'll start with you, Andy. Who do you think the best 3 Arsenal are? And I mean, obviously you're a man who's got room to bring one of them in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly like the triple up. If they went Dublin, I wouldn't triple up. Gabriel, Timber, I think are the best 2, because I still think Timber's got good potential for attacking returns. As a free hit, like Raya, because he's guaranteed, I guess, but I don't particularly like Raya as a transfer. And the attacking options, you can't guarantee Madueke plays both, because Saka might be back for the second game, or Martinelli, Trossard, you can't get them. Gyökeres, Havertz, Odegaard, Eze. So it's Rice, really. I mean, I'd probably go Gabriel, Timber, Rice as a boring 3, but it just not exciting, really, is it?
Yeah.
Do you agree, Roberto?
I think so. It's tricky with Arsenal at the moment, because where you can't guarantee minutes, you do get excitement. But where you can't guarantee excitement, you get minutes. So it kind of like makes it hard to have 3 where you think, oh, there's going to be a high upside on these players, because the likes of Rice, even Zubamendi, who's been doing quite well recently, you know, they've had high scores across the season, but it's hard to guarantee that explosiveness you might get from a Gyökeres or a Martinelli if you knew their minutes. And that's the big if in a double game week, when Arsenal have got, you know, the Carabao Cup final to think about as well. You know, topping the group in the Champions League stage. You know, they've got a lot on for the season, and, you know, whisper it quietly, but they'll be hoping for any potential quadruple chances. And so when you've got all of that sort of in the background, it makes it really hard to know what Arteta's thinking, really, because, you know, in most worlds, Rice and Gabriel will play most of the games. But outside of those 2, like Andy said, it makes it hard to nail your hat on a 3rd pick. But I really like Timber. I think, yeah, he's really, you know, shown his stuff since he's joined there, and I really think he's one of the better right backs in the league, to be honest. And then it just comes down to who you want to take on. If you want to be a bit differential, you could go for one of the wingers, but you just got to know there's risk attached to it.
I quite like Madueke. Pickle, how about yourself? And can you move us on to the next point as well? FPL Review. I'm a massive fan of FPL Review. I'm very open about it. I keep saying they should sponsor me. They haven't bit yet, but their transfer to me this week is the Bravka to Jose Sarr, which I'm not going to listen to because I don't want to do it. But any Wolves players are worth it?
For the double, maybe Mane at a push, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't go there personally. I'm not really a fan. Because even the fixtures after that aren't exactly fantastic, really. And
I mean, I think if you're going Wolves assets, you'd have to be wildcarding in the next couple of weeks, because I don't think you want to transfer them in and then transfer them out.
Yeah,
like if you're wildcard in 27 or 28, then I think you can punt on a Wolves guy. But to transfer them in and then have them there for like 5 or 6 weeks is just not good, really.
No, no.
Yeah, for anyone listening, it's Crystal Palace, Villa, Liverpool, Brentford, blank after this one. It's not nice, is it?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the thing about Arakadare and Mateus Mane is you're changing your squad structure to fit them in. Like they are useful for the double game week, but then after that, you're not going to want them, and you might be playing a different formation entirely. So it just makes it a little bit awkward to navigate your team going forward, I think.
Unless you've got like a Guiu, which is fair enough. If you wanted to do Guiu to Mane, then fine. But like realistically, there's not going to be many situations where it's worth bringing them in for this run, really.
So I've just highlighted 3 players I thought we could touch on before we move on to preview the game week. I mean, Palmer obviously is the big talk of town. 2 of the people on our cast, Trig and Candy, brought him in this week, and it basically shot them up above everyone else in our little mini league. But Andy, I'll come to you first, mate. I mean, so he's got Leeds this week, then Burnley, but then Arsenal, Villa, Newcastle, Everton. I've looked at it, but I'd have to take a hit, so I don't think I would. Are you tempted?
I'm not tempted at all. I mean, I like my midfield, and I think Palmer's a good pick. And even if you went for Palmer this week and got the haul, that was the week to do it. I think now that there's only 2 good games left, and the fact that he's too expensive for a lot of people, it's just not worth it, unfortunately. Like, fair play to anyone that went on him. Like, great purchase this week because he's got 3 good fixtures, but now it's 2 good fixtures, and there's still doubts about his injury, and he's expensive. I think we just missed the boat, and I think you can't go chasing, unfortunately. Like, fair play to anyone who got 20 points or 40 points. Brilliant. Yeah, worth it. 3 good fixtures. But 2 good fixtures, and the fact you have to jiggle things around, it's not for me, really.
Do you agree with that, Pickle? Have you got any knee-jerk to get in?
No, I mean, I had the opportunity to buy him for Saka and I didn't because of that exact thing. 1, he was a lot of money. 2, there were still doubts around his injury, and him getting the 20-pointer is such a Palmer thing to do. And I feel like a lot of people are going to bring him in, then he's unfortunately just going to blank for the foreseeable. I just see that happening right now. But you never know. But yeah, I think at this point, it's not worth, especially like changing your entire structure or taking hits or anything like that for him. It's not worth it at all, in my opinion. I think just having Enzo there, if you have him, is fine enough, in my opinion. Or if you want João Pedro, then fine. But
and I'd also say as well, like, don't buy after Wolves, but you buy before they play Wolves. Like, it just that's why I look at it. Like, don't go chasing. He's done Wolves. Wolves is gone. Like, yeah.
I think he even said after the game he still wasn't fully fit as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Roberto, what's your thoughts on Mbeumo, mate? I mean, a lot of people were talking about him after the match. They've got West Ham, then Everton, Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Villa, and Bournemouth. Would you be tempted there? I mean, you don't own Fernandes. Maybe as a Fernandes alternative.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's slightly less than Bruno in terms of price. And the thing with Mbeumo is, you know, he's very like shot crazy. You know, a lot of these players, sometimes you kind of wait to get in those good positions to have shots, but Mbeumo's he's not scared to shoot from distance, and I like him for that. It just means you have to sort of take the blanks on the chin sometimes, because he's not always going to get in those sort of one-on-one situations. But yeah, I as a player, he's fantastic. It's just, I mean, whether or not, when we're looking at a lot of, you know, double game week players with Arsenal and even these fixture runs pointing towards teams like Villa, potentially a bit of Palace as well, as we were talking about earlier. I don't know if Man United is top of our agenda right now. I mean, the run they're on, the form they're showing is they can kind of go through the fixtures, and it's sort of form over fixtures for certain teams. Man United look like that right now, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they get on against West Ham, because that's the sort of game where in this run, most of these fixtures you've sort of thought that they do well to win them. Whereas this is the sort of match where they're maybe the favourites for the first time in a little bit of time. So if they can kind of get past this one with flying colours, then we can maybe think about investing. But yeah, I'm not so sure it's top of my priority list right now.
Could I tempt you, Andy, with an Mbeumo? Or are you still?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's probably price, really. I mean, I've set now with Sarr. I wanted Sarr for these next 2. Bruno Fernandes is kind of a mainstay. I think I'll be holding him for the rest of the season unless something happens. You've got Enzo still in the mix of those good fixtures. I've got Rodgers, Villa coming into good fixtures. So the only one in my team at the moment is whether I transfer is Matheus Fernandes. And obviously that's a big jump to Mbeumo. And I look at like Bournemouth's fixtures and Rayan, and I'm thinking now, do I hold Matheus Fernandes and then maybe get Rayan in 1 or 2 weeks? Because then Bournemouth have got Burnley and Sunderland coming up. So like then I make that move and then I get Rayan hauls. And then so yeah, that's the way I'm thinking. I was just thinking Mbeumo again, it's just pricey when people have got your Haalands and your Bruno Fernandes and maybe they've got Palmer. It's just tough to fit everyone in really. But he's great. He's great. I'm not saying it's bad at all. Like, he's great. So
I guess they do go back to their pre-Carrick ways. If you've got two of them as well, that's going to hurt more, isn't it? But Pickle, could I tempt you with an Mbeumo? And also, if I'm a Szoboszlai owner, I'm sure I'll ask you two questions, one each. Thoughts on Mbeumo, and if you were a Szoboszlai owner and you wanted to get off, I know Kangi, who is the biggest Szoboszlai fan ever, he's had him all season, has already got rid of him. I don't actually know to who, but who would you reckon would be good around that price, around the 6 million mark, if anyone was looking for a replacement?
So in terms of Mbeumo himself, I must admit, watching that Man United game, he was making me uncomfortable. Obviously, the goal hurt, but he does look quite threatening. That set piece was unreal, by the way. But yeah, he's definitely a very good player. But yeah, just in terms of money, I can't really find a way to get him in easily at the moment. Also, I'm someone who likes to diversify my risk a little bit. I like to have players from different teams. I know that some people like to double, triple up on players from certain teams, but obviously I have double Arsenal defense, but I like to kind of have players from different teams. I don't know, it just makes the game week more exciting for me. In terms of replacements for Szoboszlai, so how much would you be selling him for? Do you know?
For me, I think it's a bit different for me because I've got 3.5 million in the bank, I think.
Okay.
I was thinking if people didn't and they were looking at around about 6.5 to 7 million, that sort of price, or below.
It's a shame because I know that Wilson is a bit of a hot, cold pick, but this is not really the game week to buy him, is it? If it was a couple of game weeks later, you may be tempted to buy him.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like Szoboszlai, I think Sunderland's okay for him, and he's got good fixtures. But I think like Dango's got good fixtures.
Yeah.
Rayan's good, and I think maybe if you can, because that's a downgrade, you can use the funds elsewhere perhaps. But it depends. Yeah, it depends whether you want to go up or down, really, isn't it?
How much is Dango, Andy?
It's 5.8.
I think it's just under 6. Yeah, 5.8.
Okay, yeah. So you'd get about 8.8 out of that then, yeah.
But again, Brentford's fixture's not good this week, but then coming up, they've got Burnley and Wolves, so
yeah.
I mean, I'm actually tempted just to bench him. That's sort of probably what I'm going to do. But since this last point I've got is just to, because a lot of talk about doubles and blanks in a minute. Is just if there's anyone else we want to highlight in terms, who isn't doubling or blanking. I'll come to you. I mean, the one that stands out to me, Pickle, I believe you're a Villa fan. Is that correct? They've got Brighton, Leeds, Wolves, Chelsea. Are they going under the radar? Because I don't hear them talked about much outside of Rodgers.
Well, I think the other FPL picks outside of Rodgers are particularly good, to be honest with you. So I think that's why. I mean, if you really wanted to punt on like a Douglas Luiz, maybe, but that comes with risk too. So me personally, I wouldn't go with anyone outside of Rodgers, and I don't trust our defence either. I think we're quite shaky at the back. So yeah, I mean, you saw what happened against Bournemouth. Like, what was that? I don't know. I mean, Ryan got the goal, but I don't know what Dini was doing. But anyway, we move. We've been dropping so many points lately. So we really need to do well over these next few. And I expect us to get points in these games. So I don't know. He could maybe punt on a cash maybe, but me personally, Rodgers is as far as I would go.
Yeah. I mean, if you're still looking under 6 million, I don't hate Somerville as a punt. Because even with those poor fixtures, that he's just been such good form recently, and West Ham, they are sort of clicking now, and I know that his famous last words, they'll start to start losing now. I've said that, but Man United, Bournemouth, a couple of home games where, especially the Bournemouth game, I think away from home, Bournemouth have struggled a lot more. So I quite like Somerville. It's just whether or not you can be patient enough to withstand those fixtures. Really, it doesn't get good until about game week 32. So it's kind of a long term.
I would say that West Ham have been clicking because they've played Spurs, Burnley, and Sunderland recently.
Yeah,
my argument.
I'd worry we've missed the boat.
Yeah, possibly.
I think it's like 5 goals in a row, which is insane. But yeah, I think the good fixtures are sadly gone now, and I don't know whether I trust West Ham that much for the future games. Really, maybe Bournemouth, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's a few weeks in advance, but Gary, I wanted to raise up Leeds because
you're a Leeds fan, are you, mate?
I'm a Leeds fan, yeah. So our last 5 home games of the season, we've got 3 tough games now, but we still haven't played what I think are the 5 worst teams in the league at home. So come from game week 29 to the end of the season, I think we've got like Wolves, Burnley, Forest, Brentford, Sunderland at home, and I think like if you want cheap assets like Goodmanson for like 3.8 million, I know that might be just a bench option, but someone that can come in and play like decent fixtures, especially with us at home, I think they'll be the enablers come the end of the season, because even like players
the
like
wild card 32, assuming people
even like Calvert-Lewin and Statch, like good enablers. I think you can triple up on Leeds later in the season with our fixtures. That's certainly the way I'll be going, I think, because I trust our home form and the way we're playing. Even like Bogo, I've looked at, he's like 4.4. Like that's good for how he's playing and stuff. So I'll certainly be looking at that. But it's not for now. It's maybe, I think it's from 29 onwards. So
yeah, Roberto, anyone you like to pick out, mate, before we move on to the games?
I think as well, Man City are getting overlooked, and I understand why, because it's Pep. But the fixtures for Man City, the only thing you have to factor in is 31. But in terms of long-term run of fixtures, they're pretty on paper favourable for Man City at the moment. After that win against Liverpool, they are going to have the bit against in their teeth a little bit, and they're sort of trying to get that momentum. I mean, with Man City, the thing that you worry about is they've still got a lot of players out that could, starting to edge their way back, like Diaz, and so it is a bit of a risky one. But maybe if you like a bit of maybe a punt on like a Nunes or something, because he always looks lively. It's just whether or not you can guarantee those minutes. But if you want to find a way into that City defense, Gay's been really impressive since he's gone in. So he's kind of cheap way into that back line. Because I just wouldn't be able to call the attacking players. You can kind of maybe get away with it a bit more from a defensive point of view. So not. I mean, none of us own
Semenyo, do we?
No, that's true.
Yeah, he's the other one that hurts even more than Rodgers when he scores.
Yeah,
and those fixtures with Semenyo scare me. Like he's someone that can just be so explosive and double digit every game because it's Man City, right? And if he's playing every game in those fixtures, I do worry about Semenyo a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I like him. I do like him.
It's an interesting balance, isn't it? Because I've got 5 players out in blank game week 31. So I need at least 3 transfers, then at least I'm going to get hits. And usually I'd be trying to save up. But I think I'm actually going to try and concentrate on maybe getting in a Crystal Palace player or whoever. And then if I have to take 2 hits in 31, do that rather than... Because we often lose track of what's going on. Do you get what I mean? In the general game when we're trying to plan. But yeah, okay.
Get your 30 points from Saar, and then you can take the -8 in the blank game. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So let's move on to the fixtures for this week. So this is the Rob T. Slow, which he kindly posted literally just before we started the stream. So we've got this week's fixtures. I'll just read through them quickly. Everton versus Bournemouth on Tuesday. So do remember the deadline is 6 tomorrow. Very close. Everton slight favourites there. Chelsea versus Leeds. Chelsea clear favourites there. Spurs versus Newcastle. Close, but Newcastle slight favourites. West Ham, Man United clear favourites there. Villa versus Brighton, Villa favourites there. Crystal Palace, Burnley, Crystal Palace clear favourites there. And I believe also the second highest clean sheet odds at 44%. Then Man City with the highest predicted goals of the week, clear favourites versus Fulham at 2.33. Forest versus Wolves, Forest favourites there. Sunderland, Liverpool obviously favourites there. And then the two Arsenal matches, Arsenal, Brentford, Arsenal favourites there. 1.74 goals, 37% clean sheet odds. And then Wolves versus Arsenal, 2.2 goals there and 52% clean sheet odds. The reason I'm reading that out is I'm trying to think of what if we did captain Gabriel, a guaranteed clean sheet almost if you combine those two clean sheet odds together, you know what I mean? It's almost 100%, and then get a couple of DEFCONs and a few goals maybe. I mean, the reason I usually bring this one up is just to ask if there's anything you want to pick out, and I usually do a captaincy poll this week. So I'll just shut this poll. We've got 56% using their triple captain and 44% not. So quite close.
I mean, I think the good thing about the triple captain is Gabriel to get like 4 points is going to be really hard. Like that seems really unlucky if he just gets 2 2s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like you can't see that if you're playing triple captain, at least you get 8, right? Minimum.
You think so? Yeah.
I know the ceiling's perhaps not high, but at least the ceiling's not as high, but at least you can say like I'm a triple captain in blank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I was just saying, I think with DEFCON as well, I mean, it might be harder to get DEFCON against Wolves, but I feel like against Brentford, he could get DEFCON. I do wonder whether they'll keep both clean sheets. I think they'll keep at least one, but not sure about both. But
yes, I'm going to do a quick poll. Who are you captain this game? Gabriel Rice, Bruno, someone else. I just make those names up. But Roberto, any thoughts on you might want to captain, mate, or just want to pick out from these?
It's tricky because outside of Gabriel, I don't really see anyone. Even though we've talked about it previously, and I don't love the triple captaincy, but maybe captaincy is just enough on Gabriel if I bring him in. But if you really wanted to go different, you could go for a Rice. I mean, I don't recommend it after failing that last week, but it could work out this week. With the Wolves game in particular, they have been so poor defensively, and Arsenal quite shocked they didn't score a set piece goal against Sunderland. So that could be sort of changed again against Wolves, where Rice on corners. I don't hate it, but I feel like Gabriel being the beneficiary of that might just be slightly better. And if you really wanted to go against the double game week options, if you had Sarr and you think Palace are just going to blitz past Burnley, then maybe a cheeky captaincy on Sarr. But I don't know. It's one of those things where with Palace, their form has been so up and down recently that you kind of want to be a bit more confident in a team as a collective before you place a captaincy on someone, I think. Or if in the case of like Thiago, with how well you've been doing overall, you sort of kind of allow that because of the individual. But yeah, I'm not so sure maybe on a Palace player. But if you're feeling really out there, then maybe.
Could I tempt you into a single game, mate, Captain Pickle? I mean, I'm just looking at this. Arsenal basically predicted 4 goals over the 2 games, and there's not another team that basically predicted over 2. But could I tempt you?
But I mean, goals are spread around for Arsenal, right? So like Haaland 2.3, or Man City 2.3. You think Haaland could easily get a brace?
Although it's a lot more spread out than it used to be in terms of Man City goals.
Fair. Yeah, that's good. Good point.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you were going to go with a single game week player, I probably would just go for Haaland realistically. But I think if you've got Arsenal players and you've got Gabriel, then yeah, I wouldn't. I'm a bit of a Sarr hater. It's controversial. So yeah, I probably wouldn't go.
Because he loves scoring against you, isn't it? That's probably why.
Yeah. You know what? Last season I was like so pro Eze. I loved Eze, and you know what? It went in my favor. I just like never rated Sar that much, but he always does well anyway. So I don't know. I just don't trust him. I don't know why.
I think the annoying thing this week, and I think we'll see it, is random people will triple captain random Arsenal attackers, and there'll be one that goes off, and we'll see those screenshots of like Havertz 66 points or Martinelli 60 points, and it'll just be like, yeah, I could have gone there, but it's nailing the one is going to be horrible. But you'll see the screenshot of someone will do well, and there'll be an Arsenal player that gets 20 points, but you just can't predict that. It's just going to be random, right? But I think there'll be an Arsenal player that gets 20 points, and you'll see his triple captain screenshots of some amazing person going, "Look how good I am," and that'll be a bit triggering.
It'd probably be like someone stupid.
Probably
Someone sent me.
Zubamendi, yeah.
Someone sent me a screenshot this weekend of someone who triple captained. I can't even remember who it is, but it was some like obscure player that scored 17 points. I wish I could remember who it was. But there's always someone, isn't there, who like triple captains a 4 million defender who's with 0.1 owned. It's like people just create these teams just to do these crazy things.
And there'll be people captaining Wolves players as well, right? I mean, if Wolves score one, it could be that player, and that player could then get DEFCON and appearance points the next game, and that Wolves player could get 15 points.
Yeah.
But again, you're not going to predict that, are you? You just, that's quite random as well.
Anything else you wanted to pull out of the fixtures before we move on to our plans for game week?
I think Leeds score at Chelsea, but that's probably a bias.
No, I agree. They probably will.
DCL.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea defense isn't as good as people think it is, really.
No, I kind of regret my Chalobah transfer, to be honest. I think the fixtures just look too tempting, and I'll keep
they are
now.
good. Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? Chelsea's defense has been very frustrating. I'll tell you that for free. I sold Sanchez at the worst possible time. I think I wildcarded him out in like game week 8 and got Pope, and it was just the worst thing ever. Went so wrong.
Is it possible for
clean sheet? Because I've not had any all season. Sorry about.
I was just going to say the Tottenham Newcastle game. Is it possible for two teams to lose a match? Because I feel like they're both in such poor form. It could be the match where one of them the manager goes after that match. Because I mean Tottenham recently just every week you think he probably won't, but every time you think Tottenham are going to improve, they just fall flat again. Like the performance against Man City was so good, and then they were just so poor against Man United. So I don't know. I feel like that could have goals in it though.
They've been quite unlucky with injuries, I guess, and then Romero being sent off did not help. But I did expect more from Frank, to be fair. They're a bit disappointing.
I heard some Spurs fans actually wanted them to lose against City because they wanted him out. It was like bad, but
I mean, apart from Arsenal, I can't see too many clean sheets this week. Looking at those fixtures,
no,
it's going to be Arsenal clean sheet.
Crystal Palace.
Yeah, if you've got Arsenal defense and Palace defenders, it's a good week for you, I think.
Yeah.
Are any of you tempted by Munoz? Because he's been talked about.
I've just got too many blank. Munoz is my guy. I love him a lot. I still think he's probably the best asset in the game. He's that good,
really?
Honestly. Yeah, I do. He's so attacking. I know the Palace defense hasn't been as strong, but with him back, they're really great, and he's so attacking. He plays like forward right. And if they went blank in 31, I'd be tempted, but I've just got too many players now blank 31 after I bought Sar. Yeah. But Munoz is brilliant.
Yeah. Agreed.
This is a Munoz fixture. This is a Munoz fixture. Like,
yeah.
Could be like 15, 20 points, couldn't it, if it all clicks?
If you've got 2 Arsenal defenders or 3 Arsenal defenders and Munoz, I think you're cooking. Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we move on to our team? So this is Andy's team for game week 26. He's got 1 free transfer, 2 million in the bank. Currently starting Keller at home to Arsenal, and then Gabriel and Timber obviously have Brentford and Wolves. Tarkowski at home to Bournemouth. Dalot away to West Ham, as is Bruno Fernandes. Enzo at home to Leeds. Rodgers at home to Brighton. Sarr at home to Burnley. Haaland at home to Fulham, and Ekitike away to Sunderland, with Gabriel currently captain and Timber vice. Yeah, do you want to talk us through any planned moves? Looks pretty good on paper there, I think. Then.
Yeah, I mean, I've only got one free transfer, but I do want to get the third Arsenal asset in, despite the blank. I just think it's a double game week. I need triple Arsenal. I was going to get triple Arsenal anyway, so. But I think I'm changing my original plans. I was going to do Fernandes to Rice, and it's the exact money I had. But now Tarkowski to Saliba makes sense more so, just because of moves later down the line. Because I think in 28, when Chelsea's fixtures run out, I can do Enzo and Sarr to like a Dango and Wirtz, which I quite like, or Rayan and Wirtz, depending if I like Rayan over Dango. So I think if I did Fernandes to Rice, it would price me out of those moves. So I want Wirtz back for Liverpool's good fixtures. I want to get rid of Sarr, even like as a short term for a couple of weeks of these good fixtures. And then he's got the blank, of course, as well. So, and Enzo, when he's got Arsenal, I'll get rid of him. So yeah, I think it'd be Tarkowski to Saliba, so that I can do Sarr and Enzo to Wirtz, and probably Dango in 28, but maybe Rayan. Yeah.
How many game weeks do you plan ahead, Andy? Because Andrew said you're a long-term planner. Are you like, have you got like your transfers planned up to like 10 game weeks ahead, or?
Not. I mean, I plan a lot. I mean, I plan like 10 weeks probably. Yeah. I mean, I thought, but in 24, I thought I was going to get Palmer, but I didn't trust his injury, so I bought Bruno Fernandes, and because he was in good form, so it does change. But predominantly it is fixtures, and I look at fixture runs. It was surprising I bought Sarr, I think, because of the blank, but I just had something that I thought I can't pass up on the Wolves Burnley at home games. So that's why I made the Foden to Sarr move. The fact that Foden was out of favour, if Foden was still playing, I still think I would have had Foden. But the fact I could do Foden to Sarr was the reason I did it. Yeah.
Pickle, would you be a fan of going free Arsenal defence if you didn't already have your? I think you've already got free Arsenal, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. You know what? I do like it, but I'm a bit nervy with stuff like this. I find double defensive scary enough as it is, but with Arsenal, that's the one exception. So like triple, yeah. I don't know whether I could stomach it, but it's ballsy and I like it. It's a good double to have triple Arsenal defense, to be fair. So, and I think there's no really solid attackers. Like there's Rice, but he's not been great lately anyway, and he could be involved in set pieces and things like that. But I could see Saliba doing well, and he gets DEFCON as well. So. I rate it.
Any thoughts, Roberto, on Andy's team?
Yeah, I mean, as it does look really nice. I think with Saliba there for Tarkowski, it's almost the final piece of the puzzle to make this 11 look pretty flawless outside of the goalkeeper.
Outside Kelleher,
yeah. But the rest of it, I love, honestly. I think a lot of home fixtures in there as well. So yeah, with the triple up, it is a thing I'm scared of. I don't think I've ever tripled up in a defense before, but I think I've definitely doubled up a few times. But yeah, I think if there's any team you're going to triple up, it's going to be Arsenal for sure. And as you said, the attacking options at Arsenal just aren't appealing enough to go there.
I would say that there's one time I've had triple defense from a team. It's Man City in the 21-22 season, and I captained Cancelo and also had Zinchenko and Diaz, and they all got double-digit returns in a single game week. So Cancelo got 18 points.
Was that the West Brom game?
No, it was just 2-0 at home to Newcastle, or away to Newcastle, I think. The triple City defense just sticks in my mind.
Oh yeah, 21-22. I'm thinking of the season prior. Yeah.
I know you've got the same keeper rotation to me, Andy. If you managed to get it right, did you have Keller or play him 2 weeks ago when you got the 10?
I did, yeah.
You did. I had him benched. I was like gutted because I can't remember who it was, but it was like the Bravka had like one of the easiest fixtures of the season, and Keller had this Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I did it because Villa. It was Villa away. Keller had, and it's the kind of fixture where I think people could haul. And I had Tarkowski against Villa away, and people question that as well. But it's a game where they can like shut out. So I got lucky from it, sure. But yeah, I was pleased I went Keller for 10 points.
We're just bad.
Yeah.
Okay, can we move on to Pickle's team? So Pickle has got one free transfer, 0.0 in the bank. He's got Raya at home. Raya and Gabriel, obviously the double at Brentford and Wolves. Chalobah at home to Leeds. Hall away to Spurs. Rice with the same double. Enzo at home to Leeds. Bruno Fernandes away to West Ham. Ndiaye at home to Bournemouth. Wilson away to Man City. Holland home to Fulham. Sorry if you can hear my dogs barking there. Ekitike away to Sunderland. Ekitike. Kanji keeps pulling me up on saying that name wrong. And then you've got Thiago bench, which I thought I would point out. Yeah, talk us through it, Pickle.
It's not the best team, I'll be honest, but I just think midfield-wise, it's not looking the strongest. Like I said a couple of game weeks back, I had the money to get Rodgers. I think he had Newcastle away and NGI had Leeds at home. And I thought, you know what, I'll just punt on NGI, but it's gone very, very wrong. And we're just obviously I bought Thiago as well recently. So now I've not got much flexibility in terms of what I can do. So I can't afford Sar or the NGI directly. But I'd like to get Rodgers eventually. It would be nice to get him this week, but it'd probably have to be 27 especially. So part of me wonders whether to downgrade Ekitike. That's probably one of the main avenues I can see I can get money from, but it's not the best game to sell him. So I'm unsure. And like I mentioned, I'm really tempted by Strand Larsen, and that could go really well or it could go really badly. In terms of Thiago, I mean, if I triple captain Gabriel, I feel like I just need to back Arsenal and therefore have Thiago on the bench. But I suppose if Arsenal do lose their clean sheet, it's probably going to be Thiago that takes it from them. So the Thiago versus Wilson thing, I'm still and ahhing about. But if I'm going to triple captain Gabriel, I just feel like I just need to back Arsenal to the fullest and therefore keep Thiago on the bench. But I'm not set at the moment. I hate that the deadline's tomorrow because I'm not sure right now. I hate these game weeks where I just don't know what I'm going to do. I love a game week where I'm solid with my plan, I'm confident with my plan. But at the moment, I'm feeling a bit shaky. So we'll see. It looks okay, but it's not great.
Maybe that playing the two players against each other on your bench boost last week is like playing in your mind. Because I'd go Thiago because he's a penalty taker. Would you, Roberto? I can see you're wanting to come in there.
Well, it's funny because I've got Thiago on the bench as well, and I have been thinking about that a lot, to be honest. And it's really hard, especially when you're captaining a defender against them. You think, oh, if you're backing that captaincy, can you afford yourself to be in the mindset of thinking Brentford will score? But ultimately, when you sort of strip it down, if there's one player that's going to score in that game for Brentford, it probably is him. So I think I'd probably play Thiago over Wilson, but it's very close because the temptation to just go all in on Arsenal in that game, especially with Raya in there as well, is quite strong. So I don't know. I think the penalties might just swing it over Wilson, but you know, it's not a lot in it at all. I wouldn't discourage you from Wilson either.
Yeah, it's a tough decision. I've got a lot to think about, to be honest. And like, if I do this really random move, I don't know. It's one of those where like my gut feelings like feeling strong again, but it also just seems like a really bad idea. So it's kind of like gut, heart, and head all kind of arguing with each other at the moment. I think that the reason why I want to do it is that because in 27 I can then get Rodgers, and then I'm able to afford Verts in the future as well. And I've got like set some moves planned if I do go ahead with it, but it might be better off, well, for me, maybe just rolling at the moment, but I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to get Strand Larsen, I should do it now, or I don't ever do it. So
I would say Ekitike is too good to sell. Ekitike is too good to sell, I would say.
Yeah, but I need to, I think I know, but I need to sell him eventually because I don't have any other avenues to get like midfielder upgrades really. So I'm a bit stuck really. Like if I could just do NGI to Sar, I would, but I can't. I can't do Hall to Munoz either. And even if I did Hall to Lacroix, that doesn't free up enough money to upgrade my midfield in any way. So I'm in a bit of a pickle, no pun intended. Like I just am in a bit of a pickle at the moment. And that's the only way I can see myself being able to have some flexibility. So yeah, it's a difficult one, guys. I don't know if you have any thoughts on it at all. But
I would have done Gray to Strand Larson. Sorry. Is that harsh?
Yeah.
Is that harsh? Yeah.
Would I have been able to afford? Yeah, I guess so. But I want Thiago as well. So
I know. Yeah, I mean, Thiago's great after this one. Perhaps it could have been Strand Larson to Thiago and get the fixture for Burnley.
Yeah. I suppose at the time, though, I didn't know how many minutes Strand Larson was going to play.
True.
I was actually surprised
true.
that he played. I was surprised that he played the whole 90. To be fair, I think that's why I've now got this really strong urge to do it because it's such a good couple of fixtures. Knowing that he did just go straight in, he did play the 90 minutes, and Palace fans, even though he didn't get anything in that game, they seemed very impressed with him and seemed happy with the way he played in that game.
I just think Ekitike is such a hard sell. I know he's expensive and there's funds there, but Liverpool's fixtures and how well he's playing, I'd like him a lot. It's just really hard to sell him.
In the reverse fixture against Arsenal, Thiago got a rest, and I remember thinking I can't sell Thiago ahead of Arsenal, and because the 2 games prior to that he was on a really good run and he scored like 3 goals in both games against Burnley, Brighton, and he's got those ones after the Arsenal game, so. I wouldn't want to get rid of Thiago as much as I like the Strand Larson shout. I just think those games could be really good for Thiago. So
yeah, you got to keep Thiago now. Thiago's great.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, do Brentford still in the cup? Do they play at the weekend?
That's a good question. I think they're out, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think
because I think they lost to someone quite.
Wasn't he? He was rested in the cup anyway, wasn't he? I think.
Oh no, they've got Macclesfield in the cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'll be rested then, won't he?
You'd hope so. Away to Macclesfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like a fixture where it's like, oh, it's good. I guess a tough cup game that you rest him against Arsenal. You'd think he'd play Arsenal at least, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you worried about? Well, I'm just thinking about your plans to getting rid of players because you've probably got as many players as me. Actually, I guess you're better. I'm thinking about 31, but you're in a better position, I guess, because you can just bench Raya and play the Bravka, can't you? But in terms of Arsenal, Man City, are you thinking about waiting and then getting rid of them all just before 31, or getting rid of them slowly?
So if I was to do the Strand Larson move, I'd then get Rodgers in 27 and then sell Rice to Wirtz in 28. I don't know what I'm doing in 29. I can't remember. But the way I planned it is in 31, I wouldn't even actually have to make a transfer. I'd have a starting 11. So it would work out fine. It's just, selling Ekitike feels bad, especially before Sunderland away. I guess they're going to be a little bit weaker though after the sending off, but still, I'm sure they'll still be strong enough to do well. And they're going to need to get points against Sunderland. So, it's like I'm planning to get Wirtz in the future, but there's obviously going to be a couple of game weeks in between where I won't have any Liverpool players at all, and that doesn't feel fantastic either. But I guess it comes down to me wanting Rodgers really, which seems a bit silly to be fair, but I don't want NGI for much longer. It's doing my head in. I'll keep him for this one, but
maybe I think one of my problems this season is not been wanting Rodgers enough. I think maybe. So can we move on to Roberto's team? So Roberto has got one free transfer, 1.9 million in the bank. Pickford at home to Bournemouth, Lacroix at home to Burnley, O'Brien at home to Bournemouth, Timber with a double. Wilson away to City, Enzo at home to Leeds, Sarr at home to Burnley, Currently captain Rice, obviously with a double. Neto, your lovely Neto, at home to Leeds. João Pedro at home to Leeds as well. And then Haaland at home to Fulham with Thiago, Robinson and Collins on the bench. Talk to it, Roberto, mate.
Yeah, I've got one free transfer and 99 problems in this team because I don't know what to do with my problem is I really want to get Gabriel and I can't get Gabriel in one move because I don't have enough funds. So
he's like 7.1 or 7.2 now, isn't he?
I know he's very expensive, and pretty much all my defenders are 4.9. Collins, O'Brien, both 4.9, and then Robinson is quite cheap. So it's just not enough to get up to Gabriel. So it would have to be a -4. So it's just whether or not I feel it's worth replacing. Let's say it was O'Brien, and then taking a -4 to get in a midfielder to afford that Gabriel move. And I'm not really sure if I love it. I mean, Thiago, I could well start and just bench Wilson, but that would mean I'd have to sell one of Neto or Enzo to fund the Gabriel move, which again, I don't really want to do ahead of a couple of good fixtures for Chelsea. I feel like Leeds probably will score in that game, but I also think Chelsea could score. So I don't know if this is the right time to get rid of one of those Chelsea mids. I mean, Neto is the obvious one to save a bit of money, but
who'd you go down to?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would probably be. I mean, there's no one I'm loving, to be honest, because you have to sort of jump down to 6 million in terms of price bracket, and Rodgers is kind of the one I'd want. A bit more sort of expensive than what I'm looking at. I don't know. I think maybe one of the options I've got is go down to like a Zubimendi and have my third Arsenal there, but I think I have to have Gabriel really. So I don't know if I can
not Saliba. Saliba not tempt you enough.
I think it's the fear of the triple. You know, everyone is going to go triple captain Gabriel.
Yeah, true.
Thinking, can I really afford to go without him? I just it kind of covers me a little bit with that. Midfield is the problem basically because I'm not loving a lot of the options. And then it's if I do get Gabriel in for one of my defenders, I don't really want to sell any of my strikers, and I'm not going to sell my goalkeeper for a -4. So it leaves me with very few options. And it might just be that I sacrifice Neto, even though it's not really what I want to be doing. But I just don't have the funds from selling Wilson to get someone I really want. Even at the sort of higher price point of like 7 million, 6.5. I mean, like a lot of them are struggling in form at the moment. Like you were talking about Njai earlier, Bruno Guimaraes. I think the boat has probably been missed on that, and he's 7 million anyway. So it would be hard to kind of stretch to him.
Elliot Anderson.
No, I'm not feeling that, to be honest. I feel like it doesn't really do me much, that move. So I don't know. I don't hate Dewsbury Hall. It's just whether or not I'll think about playing him consistently going forward. Like I like him as an asset for the squad, but I mean the next few fixtures are tough, and then it's Burnley, so he would have to be in there for the long haul. I don't hate Dewsbury Hall, but I don't know.
I mean, when you bought Neto, right? Surely you bought him for the intention of Leeds at home, Burnley at home.
I did, yeah. That's the thing.
You've had Neto for ages, haven't you?
That's the thing. I've been very patient with Neto. Every time I've thought about getting rid, he's just had a good fixture pop up out of nowhere, and I thought, just a few more weeks, and then
I know,
and then another problem will crop up in the team, and you deal with it, and Neto just sort of has a stay of execution. So Yeah, frustrating.
I don't think it's a problem with Leeds and Burnley next two. I know it's not great.
No.
I don't think it's a
Yeah.
sell. I know it's annoying for you, but
Yeah, no, I fully agree. Like, I mean, his minutes have been a little bit sketchy at times, but he's still, for me, worth keeping ahead of these fixtures. So, I don't know.
I bet last week was frustrating for you. That Neto miss, Enzo assist.
Oh,
That was good.
honestly, so annoying. Because the thing is,
all
Neto,
time
he always looks like he's gonna kind of get on the end of things and get involved. I actually benched him last week as well. That was the other thing. Because I think going into the game week he had a bit of a knock, and I thought Harry Wilson, surely against Everton, but in the end they ended up getting the same score anyway. So I don't know. I think most likely it will be Gabriel in for O'Brien, and then I just get like a really low owned player to replace Wilson, and just hope Thiago does nothing. I think that's what I'm probably going to do, but it doesn't feel great because with the penalties for Thiago, it could come back to bite me. But if I'm backing the Gabriel captaincy, which I think I am over Rice, then I think I just go full throttle Arsenal and hope for the best.
And you wouldn't go Wilson to a punt of Arsenal like a Madueke or a, I don't know, Martinelli or something as a punt for double game week.
I could if I really had a lot of courage, but it's just it's not having Gabriel, which is just making.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like if you had 4 frees, I'd get that, but you're booking in a transfer essentially by doing that. It's very tempting though, but you're like me, you've only got the 1 free, so it feels harder to navigate this sort of situation.
Yeah, definitely.
It makes FPL fun though, doesn't it? With all these like puzzles and like it's like head scratching. It's good. I like
problem solving. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's
do you not like it,
Pickle?
You don't like it, Pickle? You don't like it, no?
I think I just had it too easy the last 2 years.
There you go, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I had it too easy. I'll admit it. So I'm having to think a lot more, and luck's not going my way. So yeah, it's feeling like a graft this year for sure.
Nice. Enjoy the graft.
I will.
It does feel like when you get someone like Ben Crellin or or is it Tom Dollymore, the guy who's and they managed to get up there in the top 5, 6K. So like, because I'm not as good as Pickle, but I had like 3 and 12K prior to last season. To keep that consistency and get it going every season, 5, 6 seasons in a row, it really is a sign that there's more than just luck in the game.
Yeah. You were talking about Ryan earlier, Andy. Would you consider going early on him if this week was the week to fund Gabriel?
So does that fund it then? If we go Wilson to Rayan and then O'Brien to Gabriel, it's nice, isn't it? Rayan looks good.
I'd be tempted. I quite like him actually.
Yeah,
the fixtures till 30 are very good, so it's one to consider. I think I might think about that one.
But I've also like selling Harry Wilson is just because I'm actually considering Harry Wilson because Fulham got great fixtures like in a few weeks. It's so awkward.
Yeah. Whatever happens, we've got to do something that we don't like, I think.
Yeah.
Should we move on to my team? So I have got 1 free transfer, 3.5 million in the bank. I'm finally starting Kelleher at home to Arsenal instead of Dubravka. Then I've got Gabriel, currently triple captain for Brentford Wolves. I've also got Timber with the same fixtures. Lacroix at home to Burnley. Hall away to Spurs. I would have been starting Szoboszlai, but obviously he's suspended, so I've got him benched. Fernandez away to West Ham. Anderson at home to Wolves. Enzo at home to Leeds. Rice is my vice triple captain with the double. And then Thiago at home to Arsenal. Haaland at home to Fulham. And the only real player that I've got on the bench who's even playing at the moment is Joachim Anderson away to Man City. So yeah, I thought about it. I don't like these tight turnarounds particularly very much. I do and I don't, because it doesn't really give me a chance to think about the moves I'm going to make. And I thought about, and I know it's very knee-jerk, I thought about maybe getting rid of Hall and upgrading to Szoboszlai to Palmer. But I think you guys are right. I don't think it's worth it. I think it's just knee-jerk. And sometimes I could get rid of Szoboszlai and maybe bring in Wirtz or something, but I don't think Wirtz will do that much better than Szoboszlai when Szoboszlai's back. So it may sound a bit weird, but I think I'm just going to roll. The other issue is I'm a lecturer, I'm teaching from 12 to 6 tomorrow. So I would have to make my transfer at like 11 in the morning. I'm not going to get to watch any deadline streams or anything. So I'm thinking just roll. And also then if I have 2 free transfers, then if I need to bring Palmer in next week to captain him, I could do. I don't know what you guys think, Andy.
I would look at Szoboszlai out to bench Thiago. I mean, you can roll definitely, but I think there's better midfielder options, and I think Szoboszlai to someone could be beneficial, like Rodgers. But I know you don't want to go that way. You want to keep avoiding Rodgers, don't you, really?
I don't know what it is about Rodgers, but having looked at their fixtures, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think I'm just one of those. I'm a bit like a rabbit in the headlights when I've had a really bad game week, rather than, well, the opposite. Like a rabbit in the headlights, rather than darting the other direction. I just like standing there because sometimes the car will miss you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like rather than run into the wheels. Pickle, what would you do in my situation?
I mean, Szoboszlai's out for it was a straight red, wasn't it? It was a professional last man foul.
It's one game bad.
Was it one game ban? Oh yeah, okay.
Game, yeah.
Oh, okay. I probably would still sell him, to be honest with you. I mean, so 3.5 mil. I'd be tempted by Wirtz. I know you said you weren't that keen, but I'd be tempted by Wirtz, to be honest.
It was one of those burnt earlier in the season. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. I understand that. I've been so against him for so long because of how the start of the season went. It was absolute horror. But he seems to be growing within the team at the moment, so I don't mind him. To be fair, if you rolled that team, it would be fine. But if you want a triple captain, Gabriel eventually. But I guess that is just me. I just feel like you'd want to back Arsenal in its entirety there, but I don't know.
I've never gone with that mindset. My mindset has always been 2 players can do well against each other, and it's it's a season-long game. It could be Gabriel gets a goal or Gabriel gets DC and Thiago scores. I think the game is I know there's a lot of narrative in the game, but I just think I start the player I think's got the best chance of getting points. I don't worry about how that's going to affect my other players. Do you agree, Roberto?
To be honest, I agree that I like to look at it and go all in one way or the other. Because I don't know what it is. I think it's a psychological thing that I don't want to be cheering 2 things in the same match. Because I'm if I'm watching a game, I like to be sort of strong in my convictions on one side. And if I'm sort of asking for loads of things to happen in one game, then I feel like I'm starting to go down a slippery slope of realistically, none of these things are going to happen all at once. I think when I've got double or triple defense against someone, I'm just well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. What will be really annoying is if it's 1-1 and the attacker that you start against your defense doesn't score, then you'll just, to me, that's just that's completely the other way. And then you feel really annoyed. At least, if you committed one way or the other, you've kind of lost a 50-50. Whereas if you kind of go all in with everyone, you're sort of not picking sides a little bit. So I see the logic, because someone like a penalty taker, it makes it hard to bench them. But I don't know. That's just my mindset.
I guess this could be the gamey, but Arsenal don't really concede pens, do they? Either. That's just my thinking
No.
anyway.
They,
Also,
they,
like
they don't really get like concede touches in the box, to be honest.
no, and just I know that I literally just bought Thiago, and he did get a goal last game week, but outside that pen, he was terrible again. Like he's actually not doing very well at the moment. I'm hoping that with the good fixtures coming up, that his form will improve again. But I don't know. I don't feel like he's actually been performing well enough to warrant like definitely starting him. But I get that you'd want to keep Szoboszlai as well because he's got a good fixture. It's up to you, really. I get that you're not that keen on Rodgers. I and it for a while as well, but I'm starting to feel like I don't know. I miss him, so I want him back.
I was on the. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, for yourself, Gary, as well. If like deadline's tomorrow, if you can roll to 2 free transfers, I think it's like 11 days until the next deadline, and stuff could happen. So to have 2 free transfers might be beneficial anyway, because you've got cup games, you've got this game week. You could see problems in your team in like 11 days' time. So 2 frees when you're on the fence of thinking, do I roll? Do I maybe just roll? Especially with the deadline, next one after this one so far away.
Yeah, and the other thing I'm thinking is, like I'm going to need 3 free transfers for later on potentially anyway. So if I can bank one now, I know it's a long time away, but you know what I mean. For the blank game week, I may as well. If I'm on the fence, I may as well have one in the bank. You know what I mean, and sort of store it away rather than potentially use it. I'll say when I was on the pickle, I was on the bandwagon. It was around Christmas. Everyone got rid of Thiago to go to TK, and then TK did nothing, and then Thiago got like the hat trick, and that was probably my worst moment of the season so far.
Yeah, that was terrible, wasn't it? It was the worst. Terrible set of moves. But that's okay. It's what it is. But I was in the same boat. Didn't go well at all. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us. So I'll just do a couple of plugs before we wrap. Before I give appreciation to my guests and ask where we can find them. So the next podcast will be next Wednesday at 6 o'clock, back to the usual time. I don't know if we're going to do an FPL lock-in this week because there's no football. I will post on social media about that. Please do like and subscribe if you're new around here. Pickle, I'll come to you first. What was your first? I hope we didn't scare you in your first live stream experience. It's been great having you on. How was it, and where can people find you? I mean, you're much bigger than this channel. I'm sure everyone knows where you are, but
no, thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed it. Actually, I'd like to do more of these in the future. I think for me, it's just confidence building. I'm not a very extroverted person, so doing this stuff, although I feel less nervous than I might have been a few months ago doing this sort of thing, but it's nice to do it to build up confidence, and I'd love to do more in the future. But in terms of finding me, it's just FPL_Pickle and YouTube and on X as well. I'm trying to get used to saying X. It's not Twitter anymore.
Still Twitter. Still Twitter.
Still Twitter. Yeah. Always. So yeah, that's where you can find me. And thank you.
I remember you because I know Roz a little bit because we've done research together. And I remember watching his deadline streams, and you were first of all the girlfriend's here, and then your voice came in, and then you were like, it's like a bit of slow emergence, hasn't it? So you had your own YouTube channel this year.
Oh yeah, like years in the making. Ross very much encouraged me to go for it. And I'm glad he did, because it's not even my first attempt at making a YouTube channel. I had one when I was 12 that I kind of went out for 6 months. And I've always watched YouTube my whole childhood, basically. So I feel like this was destined to happen at some point. And it's cool that I'm doing it for real now. I'm really enjoying it. And I'm kind of building my creative side, that's for sure.
It's awesome. But you're certainly welcome on here again anytime, Pickle.
Oh, thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thank you for grace this time. Andy, where can we find you, mate? And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no worries. Pleasure to come on. I just enjoyed talking FPL and just getting my mind flowing. And it's good to see your teams as well. It gets you in the headspace of just thinking FPL and who's good and looking at fixture runs and stuff. So I've enjoyed it, guys. Thanks a lot. You can find me at Bournemouth Pure Amusements on the arcade floor, or you can find me at FPL_tactician on X, Twitter.
Busy job you have there. I remember I messaged you back because both you and Pickle were originally going to come onto my interview series, weren't you? About last year before I wrapped it up. And
Yeah.
I remember you saying it's the summertime. I just haven't got any hours available in the day for like 6 months.
Oh, it's mad. I mean, during August, I'm doing like 70-hour weeks, and it's like the worst time because FPL gets going. And it's like, it's just rammed. It's just, it's not a good month. But the other 11 months are normally okay. So, yeah.
Roberto, my friend, obviously the former Assembly podcast, unfortunately, no longer is around. But apart from finding you on here when you join us with your spiritual, you join our entity as the podcast goes. Where else can people find you, man?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at RobertoHollis9, FPL Yellow Army, and I'll put out the occasional team, and it's always interesting because I sort of ahead of a game week that I'm looking forward to, I'll put my team out and I'll sort of say, all right, this is the week like we start the climb, and then I'll disappear for another like 3 weeks, and then eventually when I get good again, I'll be like, here's my team ready to shine. It's like a little like meerkat popping out of the hole, just ready to smash it when it works. But no, but it's good. It's good to get into the swing of it again, and especially this part of the season where we have the doubles coming up, and the sort of really juicy part of the season. It's good to get stuck in, and now it's been really good fun tonight, and great to talk to you, Andy and Pickle, and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and we're just then. Raps is saying you're smashing it there, Pickle.
Oh, thank you.
Bit biased, but you are smashed it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
No, it's all right. Smashed it.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thoroughly agree.
Please do like and subscribe. Have a good game week, and I'll see you soon.